All the action in Las Vegas started actually on Friday night, which turned out to be a historic Truck Series victory. Rajah Caruth becomes the third African-American driver to win a National Series race, and he did it from his first career pole. Jeff Hammond, you were there on pit road watching. It came down to those, as the truck races often do, that last cycle of green flag pit stops.
Mm-hmm.
Some drivers do their part, some good and bad. Rajah Caruth, their crew, nailed every part of it, didn't speed, no issues on pit road, was able to get the lead as people were cycling through, goes on to that first victory. What'd you see from pit road?
The same thing I think you said in the very beginning. It was a dominating performance by Rajah. He put it all together from qualifying, running the race, maintaining his pace, keeping up with what the crew wanted him to do. It was, one of those well-executed nights for him. And in the end, here we go. It might have been some of that Hendrick car magic that they're sponsoring him, as well as Kyle Larson. They helped kind of start the trend for the weekend. But he was very masterful. And I think what I really took away from it, you genuinely saw the excitement of this young man. He loves racing. He was so fearful that things wouldn't come together so he could continue to, try to win a race in the Truck Series this season after GMS shut down. And fortunately, Spire and along with Hendrick Motorsports or Hendrick Motor Cars, came along and gave him an opportunity to continue his career and show that he was worthy of being not only in the series, but a leader in the series. Because when you look at the competition at Las Vegas, Kyle Busch, number one. Mm-hmm. I mean, you go down through there. I mean, there were no Ben Rhodes. Nick Sanchez, everybody, his brother raced against him, and he handled it just like a real professional. That he was 10 years under his belt. But Rajah, I think, is ready to kind of like have a breakout year. This one win will not be his only one for this season. I predict he'll have 2, maybe 3 more.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. A veteran performance, it felt like, from somebody who shouldn't have that kind of, doesn't have that kind of experience. Such a smart, clean race that was run. And he continuously impresses me, not only on the racetrack, but he juggles so much in his life. He's a college student. He is in the spotlight more than a lot of other drivers are. So for him to be able to kind of shoulder all of that pressure and turn it into something amazing like he did Friday night with a win at Las Vegas just should be applauded.
It is a win that transcends motorsports coverage, that will get more attention than obviously other Truck Series victories, not only because of the color of his skin, but you think of his background too. We don't hear drivers of his background growing up in a city, not from a racing family. Think about, he starts iRacing, about age 19, a little earlier than that maybe, but by age 16, some of these kids have 10 plus years of racing already.
Yeah. He
had none of that, right? And so to see this new breed of driver that can come and make a name for himself and find success on a different path, that opens up so much for so many children of different backgrounds.
Well, I mean, it's so true because you think about, everybody knows William Byron's story by now and how he, started out in sim racing, obviously having great success. Rajah now also following that path, having success. Think about the barriers that this breaks down for people that maybe can't afford to buy a Legends car and put their kid out there at, 6, 7, 8 years old who, it does cost a little bit of money to put together a good sim rig, but still that is a barrier to entry now that is not there for kids that want to try to get into this and see if it could potentially be a path.
Never say never should be the theme right here. Never say never. And what you're pointing out is probably one of the things I think is somewhat untouched. You cannot believe how lucrative it can be to be an iRacer and never have been behind the wheel of a Legends car, never behind the wheel of a late model sportsman. If you're good at sim racing, I mean, you can make $100,000 a year doing it. I mean, and that's what you can say is it's not chump change. And if you enjoy that kind of challenge, it's out there for you and you can go for it. And you'll never know until you really go up against the good ones, show them you're better than they are. It may lead you right down the path that William Byron's gone down along with Rajah Caruth. And it's a real thing. I mean, at one time I would have been a doubter. I don't believe in anything that's mechanical can be recreated and make you a race car driver. But today's technology is proving me wrong. And a lot of people right now have been able to, work at their skill without having to go to a racetrack.
And, I know this is kind of turning into a segment about iRacing more than it is about Rajah and his incredible win. But I think about what you were saying there, Jeff, and how it can translate from running, sim racing to actually running on a track and winning races. But think about what iRacing has done in general. Think about Atlanta Motor Speedway and what went into the reconfiguration of that track. And the way that Speedway Motorsports knew that it was possible and could work is because of iRacing and that simulator type environment that was able to help them, make the decisions they needed to make. And look at the race we got, a couple weeks ago in Atlanta. So what simulator racing and that world and environment has been able to do for NASCAR as a whole is honestly pretty amazing when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. And the more William Byrons we get, the more Rajah Caruth we get, it's just blowing up that traditional path to success in NASCAR auto racing. All for the better, right? It just opens up the path for new drivers who maybe never had a shot at the top levels before. Rajah and William Byron, they're 1%ers in terms of what they're able to do, their path from sim racing to Sunday racing. But it's just showing you the non-traditional path can be a successful one. Very cool story there.
In honor, Doug, okay? Kind of Star Trek-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit futuristic, if you know what I mean. We boldly go where no one's gone before, and that's
Drivers,
what we're doing.
Start your engines!
That's our tribute to Doug right there. That's our guy.
Beam us up, Scotty. All right.